Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, friends. Wall Street heads into Friday open with more optimism after upbeat forecasts from both Apple as well as Amazon, which reignited the tech rally, or so it seems when I look at the futures market. This follows Thursday's steep drop in the major indices after Amazon's 11% jump and Apple's 2.3% gain highlights robust cloud and iPhone growth driving early momentum. Alphabet leads the pre-market rally. It led it yesterday at 7% surge on huge beats from YouTube ads and from Google Cloud earnings. Yet investors remain edgy as Meta and Microsoft caution about spiraling AI costs. Meta flagged 70 to 72 billion in AI capex in 2026, while Microsoft's cloud and infrastructure guidance triggered profit taking. The Magnificent Seven group now anchors 35% of S&P 500's total value, with all signaling massive new investments in chips and data centers to stay ahead of AI. But some on the street warn of possible bubble risk. Let me explain the way I look at it. I think that if these companies like Microsoft and Meta and others are pumping more and more money into AI infrastructure, that definitely is good for NVDA, because NVDA is going to have a whole lot of orders. It helps AMD as well as Intel and the other little ones like Broadcom and ARM and others. So they are going to be providing all these infrastructure components. Now, what happens is that most of the companies we value is based on price to earnings. And even if you look at forward price to earnings, you have to find out how you're going to get so much of revenue that will justify so much of investment. Now, if you look at the fallout from AI, the fallout from AI is going to be reduction in employment, increase in productivity. So, in order for consumption to meet up to such increased productivity, we need to have a lot of employment in place or income substitution in place. We don't have any move towards income substitution for all those people who are not going to find jobs because AI is doing the jobs. And if you heard Kathy Woods talk about humanoid robotics being the next wave, then you can say that apart from the abstract work that can be done by AI, even cognitive work like moving things, assembling things can be done by robots. Already we are seeing automated driving. Now, if those kind of things come into play, where is the income for the population to buy these things? That is problem number one. Problem number two is that earlier it was men, material, capital, and all of them were getting a share of the profitability and the growth based on the tax policy. Unless we change the tax policy, men are out of the equation almost, because you don't need men or women to work. AI can do the job. As far as materials are concerned, there will be optimum use of material, and the owners of capital are the ones who are going to garner all the money. So if a very small section of the population has all the money, what happens to the social contract, the social terms of engagement? What prevents the rest of the people from saying that, we don't accept this currency, we don't accept the value of the currency, and we are not going to pay the value for it, right? So it's a very crazy kind of a logic if you go down the rabbit hole. So I'm thinking that it's high time the government start thinking about changing their tax policy and looking at the new era coming up. Instead of wasting time on all kind of trade wars and tariffs and other things, we're going to need as big a market as possible to sustain AI. Now, outside of tech, Eli Lilly soared after raising guidance, while Merck, Starbucks and MGM lagged. ExxonMobil's result marked energy stability, and elsewhere I read that Shell has announced a huge buyback. That's also very positive news for the markets. Japan has rallied, China has slid on poor PMI, and the crude oil losses started to happen. Like crude oil lost its ground as traders weigh the prospect of growth and the rate cut odds based on all the speech that we have heard from the Fed, as well as the outcome of Trump's meeting and Trump's visit to Asia. With the US government shutdown persisting, things are looking a little bit bleak to the oil folks. Official jobs data is delayed, putting the spotlight on alternative economic indicators. So that's the story when you look at it from an international lens. Reports today and those that are just out, which I spoke about, was Apple, Amazon. Then we have Reddit, Comcast, Starbucks, of course, Eli Lilly has done it, Merck, ExxonMobil. Next week brings AMD, Qualcomm, Palantir, McDonald's, and Uber earnings into the spotlight. So this summary kind of gives you a good idea of the setup for today. Now, with that said, I would like to say good evening to Hot Dog. Thanks for joining me, Hot Dog. And let's go on and have a look at our TradingView platform. So here we are. So I'm looking at S&P 500 futures. Friends, yesterday we had drawn this horizontal line of resistance and we were not able to pierce through that and stay above. We pierced it, but we came back down. We had done that in the last 3 days. So today our candle starts a little bit low, albeit it's positive, but given the magnitude of yesterday's drop, I think we have recovered most of that. Is there going to be enough juice in the market to break this line of resistance? That is the question I'm asking myself. And if I look at the market sentiment, it's bullish. MACD, though, is tending towards the signal line to go bearish, and momentum is still pretty high. And right now, it seems like there is enough energy to overcome yesterday's candle, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to break this line of resistance. So for me, today, the S&P 500 futures will have a resistance of 69.30, that is 6,930. And it could get a support somewhere around 6854.50. That's the bottom of yesterday's candle. Now let us look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ again has this limitation out here. Yesterday it had a huge drop. I would call this a topping tail, and we are trying to extinguish the topping tail, but are we going to have enough energy to break above 26,279? That is the question for today. If we break above it, then we have to confirm the support, and only then can we start aspiring to go back to our target of 26,705.75. Will Amazon and Apple earnings and outlook have the kind of energy? Remember, 35% of the indices are being managed by Mag 7 stocks and the AI stocks. So the market is indeed jittery. So the support for today is going to be at around 26,062. Resistance for today for NASDAQ futures is around 26,279. So that said, let's go and look at dollar index, which seems to be galloping away. Now, dollar index looks strong to me at this point of time because there are multiple factors. One factor I will say here, I'm just going to do some temporary lines. If I put a line out here and pull it a little down, this is a double bottom. Now, if I take this double bottom and put a target to the double bottom, this is where we have the neckline approximately. We have not yet triggered the neckline. So this is something that we have to watch for. Right now, what is in operation is this bull flag out here. So the bull flag would have to reach 100.206, which is above what we'll have for the double bottom. So this is one thing that I would like you to remember. But the bull flag did not go up continuously. Instead, it formed another bull flag. So this is the flagpole for the next bull flag. And if we put it here at the point of break, then we have a target of 99.510. We are already above that. So I'm thinking that I would like to look for either a series of green candles taking us to the target of 100.068, or another pattern out here, either a bull flag or a bullish pennant, some pattern like that. So that's what I'm looking at. Dollar is indeed looking strong. Wix is down again. Again, this brings me back to UXV. So this is, yesterday I misspoke about UVX. I think there was a different symbol I spoke about. That was not the one I wanted to talk about. So UVXX is tracking Wix directly. So we can't directly buy Wix. So we are going into this UVXY, and it is ProShares Ultra Wix short-term future ETF. So you can see that Wix is down 5.09 and UVXY is down 4.34. There is a lot of interest decay that happens in this VIX ETF. So one has to be careful about it because you need to get immediate gain or else you continue losing value every day. This is something I'm toying around with because if I look at VIX, where is VIX out here? Yeah, if I look at VIX, this is a daily VIX. Now let us draw a bottom line. So this is the bottom for VIX, and as we approach 14.33, I would like to think of an idea where I buy UVXX, knowing fully well that any time now we're going to get a jump, we're going to get a spike, and I think the time is coming soon, given the market condition and the economy and the geopolitics and all. We have been very, very complacent for a very long time, and even then this is at 14.33, this support. So we are still quite elevated in terms of VIX. I'm watching this carefully. I'll share my thoughts with you, but if you guys have experience or have done this before, please share your experience in the comment section. Now next, let us look at gold. I'm just recalibrating this chart so that it looks decent and can be seen in your smaller screens much better. So here we have gold. I am looking at this resistance as something from where gold is going to bounce back down. Then the question is going to be, are we able to break this support? Because right now, I think unless we have a resolution of either gold settling above this and aiming for the top of the parallel, or gold falling below this, one of these two things have to happen before I can consider buying gold. Because right now I think there is going to be a little more let off for gold before it bounces back again. That's what I am thinking, and the basis for that is that we have this bear flag in operation, and the bear flag puts a target of 3835. I don't think we have extinguished the bear flag completely, so this resistance is the one that prevents us from extinguishing it completely, even though we have traced back more than 50%. But it's this resistance can always push it back down. So we'll watch a few more candles and then decide what happens with gold. Put call ratio is looking pretty bullish to me. I mean, bullish to neutral, I would say. It's at 0.80, 0.70 is where it will be quite bullish. Now that said, let's go on and have a look at AI and keep this show moving fast. Okay, we have to go to indicators. I didn't see indicators out here, so I'm going to open indicators and keep this going fast. So for S&P 500 today, I'm going to pull this parallel channel. And if you see, yesterday also we touched the bottom of this parallel channel and came up. Hot Dog is saying many of us know this is late bull cycle and have been preparing for it, but betting on exactly when it happens, I wouldn't take that bet. It could be bullish for 6 to 12 months yet. Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I'm a bit circumspect. But whenever any of us feels that that's going to happen, just put it in the comment section. And I would like to re-examine UVIX and see if, it's a question of, catching that rare fish kind of a thing. It's just something to do in a lifetime. That's the way I'm looking at it. Okay, so we are coming back to S&P 500 futures. This diagonal line of support, this parallel line, is still working. It had worked in the past to restrict us and to support us. It's working here today. And right now, we are almost kissing this line. And if this line holds, then we are going to bounce back up again, and our resistance will be 4901 is going to be our resistance for today. And for today, the support is going to be at 6826.17. So depends on where we open. And I am thinking that we are heading towards the resistance upwards. Next, we look at NASDAQ. In case of NASDAQ, we have support at 25,682.91. And I don't see any kind of topping tail out here. So I don't have any bearish signals. Everything is looking bullish here for NASDAQ to me, except for the fact that we have an irregular move up. So we have a gap up here and we have a gap up here. Both are irregular. Gap ups need to be filled. But then the mitigating factor is this diagonal line of support. It's going to prevent us from coming down. So those two balance off each other. So it's kind of wait and watch for NASDAQ also. QQQ says that we are going to open very positive today. It's up 1.48%. And it's trying to go above yesterday's candle. and I think it will open above that. We would have met and exceeded our target of 635.59. Another successful forecast out here. Now let us remove this and try to plot the new situation that we have out here. So I'm going to take a trend line from here and I'm going to draw a flagpole. So this is our bull flag or a bullish pennant in the operation, and the reason why I'm not hesitating to draw this line already is because we have this diagonal line of support. So if you put a bull flag out here starting from here to there, your 50% is almost defended by this diagonal line of support where it is right now. So there is a very good chance that this may end up being a bull flag or a bullish pennant. So I'm putting it out here. Let us see the next few candles. This drop that we have seen from yesterday is partly recovered, completely recovered by today's action, because today's price is at the top out here, top of the flagpole. So I'm very curious to see what happens next. Next, let's go on and have a look at AI. NVDA is up, of course, if companies like Microsoft and Meta are going to spend on data center and infrastructure investments. Money is going to go to AMD, NVIDIA, Broadcom, ARM, and SMCI, and all those kind of people. So NVIDIA is definitely doing very well. It's up 2.20%, and it's trying to recapture yesterday's open. And it has it's right now at 207.34, which is still below where it closed yesterday, where it opened yesterday. It opened yesterday somewhere around $208. So it is still below that. So let us see what happens when it opens. But right now it is looking quite bullish. And for the bullish, I would say, look at this. This is our flagpole. Now what is forming here, I don't know. It could be a pennant or it could be a bull flag. And it may as well be a bear channel. Anything can happen. But there are too few candles for us to say for certain what's going to happen. So right now, let the sentiments play out. We'll see the patterns out here. If it becomes a bull flag or a bullish pennant, then we can confidently get in and say it's going to go up. Again, remember, these are all my musings as a retail investor. I'm sharing my understanding of technical analysis, which gives you probabilities. Nothing is a sure thing. So you have to be careful about it. Now, let's look at Meta. Meta is up 1.44% after a huge drop yesterday. And friends, yesterday evening, I bought Meta. I bought Meta on the Canadian side. I bought 200 units of Meta, knowing fully well that there will be a dead cat bounce. So this morning, I'm going to be weighing on selling it. And yesterday, I made a mistake. I sold mags with profits. I had around 100 or 200 mags. I sold it and took profits. If I had kept it, I would have gained even more today, but no harm done. It's always best to lock in the profits rather than risk getting locked into loss-making positions like I have in FNGD. So I'm very happy with that. And today I'm going to watch Meta and I'm going to see the emerging candles, the way they build up. I think Meta has done a lot of bloodletting and it has got to start doing a gap up out here because it's the flavor of the season. And with a lot of positives on AI, Meta cannot remain far behind. So I'm thinking that's the way it's going to work. Now, next, let us look at Google. Oh, wait a second. Also, the other reason is that, you remember we had this target here for Meta of 651.84. Look at what we did. We exactly kissed this line and then we pushed back up again, right? So which means that we have a support here. That is for sure. And today we have opened above this. So if we close above yesterday's close, that means we have confirmed this support. That would mean whenever we go to this support for the first time, it's going to give us a bounce back. That is assured. So I'm feeling more confident about Meta right now, and I'm glad I bought it when I did. I bought it very close to the bottom out here. So I have good profits already in pre-market. I'm watching this. I'll watch a few more candles out here to see how the pattern develops. So with that said, let's look at Google. Google is up 1.57% in pre-market trades. And yesterday, it had opened much higher and traveled down, but still it was a huge gap up. So Google is moving from strength to strength. And if you look at the RSI, very recent performance of the RSI, I would put the RSI out here, this line. I just want to draw this line out here and make it red. So that is our resistance on the RSI scale, and that happens to be at 89.63. Right now we are at 76.18. So there is plenty of room, 78.18. So there is plenty of room out there, 11 points out there for RSI to go up. MACD is bullish, momentum is also bullish. So everything is in favor of Google. So Google may create a series of red candles, but the bottom line would be that it will be marginally increasing every day and consolidating. It could form a bull flag out here because we have already met and exceeded our target after the breakout. You see here, we have met and exceeded a target of 290.03. So now we have to start plotting this flag and see what develops out here. So that's the way we go, step by step by step. This is my framework to look at the charts. Now we look at Amazon. Amazon is up 12.85%. Amazon was treated pretty badly and it's up 251.56. And I regret not having Amazon. I had made profits earlier from Amazon but never bought back into it because of the China issue and other things. But it's looking pretty good at 251.50. It's above this resistance. It broke through 242.06. So now we need to confirm about this. So today I want to see a candle closing above this support, and tomorrow I want to see a candle closing above today's candle, where it opened and where it closed, whichever is the higher. If it's a green candle, I want to see us close above where it closed. Then we would have confirmed this support. So I'm looking forward to that. Yesterday, I was toying with the idea of shorting Google, but it's a good thing I didn't do that. Better senses prevailed and I didn't do it. But yeah, it's all looking good. There's a huge jump. The way you talk about a dead cat bounce from the bottom, like I saw for Meta, you could always say a sell-off, profit taking when you have such huge jumps. Next, let us look at Apple. Apple is up 2.57% this morning, and it's met our target of 278.07 and exceeded it. So that's another positive that we have here. This target comes from the bull flag out here, which got broken out. Now we should consider this to be a flagpole, and we have to see what develops later. Hopefully this gap up, if it comes down, it will get filled up with a red candle and we will still be bullish. So we see what kind of candle develops out here. I would prefer one without a gap up, but if a gap up is there, still it will be bullish. Next we have Microsoft, which is up 0.76% after having a steep drop. Again, Microsoft is something that I would like to buy because I think it has already met its reverse head and shoulders target. Now let us see what happens with Microsoft if it continues to consolidate and then break down, because this to me would seem like a flagpole for a bear flag, and I want to see how it turns out. I will see a few more candles before I go ahead. Now next we have Tesla, which is up 1.48%. It will continue to get support at 440.09, and it has a resistance, I believe, at 463.68. Oracle is up 1.95%. Oracle is going to straddle this diagonal line of support, coiling around it like a serpent. That's what it has done before. Indrajit Singh is saying, could you please let me know about your portfolio, current holding or percentage, and any new buying in your portfolio? So Indrajit, the thing is, I took all profits in MAGs before the big drop, and I'm mostly in cash. I have FNGD, which is in deep loss. I had SH, which was in loss, which I liquidated. But I have booked a whole lot of profits. So I have realized profit and unrealized loss on my portfolio. And in terms of what is there, I think I still have Palantir. I'll have an inventory for you tomorrow. If you tune in on Monday, I'll have an inventory for you. I'll give you guys a glimpse of what is happening in my portfolio. There is 5 or 6 different accounts, and I have to take them all together and give you some idea of what is the overall realized profit, what is the unrealized loss, and what positions I have. So suffice to say that I'm almost 60 to 70% in cash right now. I have been a bear for quite a while looking at the fundamentals, but unfortunately technicals are driving the market and fundamentals don't have any weight at this point of time. So we are waiting for the point when the market starts believing bad news is bad news instead of bad news is good news. Okay, that said, let me continue again with this analysis out here. So just like a serpent coiling a pole, this Oracle stock is coiling around this diagonal line of support. It's going to get a support at around 257.91, and this is the first point where I would say that it has a possibility to bounce back up, but we are looking at a gap down which it needs to fill up, and we have been following this gap down. Earlier we had a target and it more than met the target of 329.69. After that it has been downhill. So let us see how it goes, whether we can manage to sustain above this. Yesterday we broke down below. Now if today we close below yesterday's closing of 256.83, then we'll be confirming 257.91, this line, as a resistance. Right now I'm leaving it as it is. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. Market sentiment is bearish, MACD is absolutely bearish, and momentum is below average and dropping. So we want to see how it goes. Because of the excitement in data centers, I think Oracle is getting a little bit of a reprieve out here, but let us see what happens with the candle today. AMD is up 2.24%. Why not? Because so many companies, the two companies that reported, have said they are putting more money in infrastructure. So we are still marching towards our target of 281.68. But I would consider this to be a bearish factor. We had a topping tail. We broke above the topping tail, but we were not able to close above it, 264.59. So I'm not very sure. I don't know if we have done a trend reversal out here. I'm not quite sure, but I would like to see a few more candles. I'm a bit suspect whether AMD will 100% go to 281.28, which is the high probability, but the formation out here doesn't inspire confidence in me. First of all, this is a topping tail which has not been taken off, and secondly, today we are below both the tops out here. I would like to see a few more candles. Market sentiment is still bullish. MACD is bullish, but moving towards the signal line to become bearish. We were overbought and we are just at the 70% on RSI, and we have earnings coming out on, on the 4th of November after hours. We are already on the 31st. So what surprises will earnings have? Is it going to be the buy the news and sell the rumor, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of an event? That is a big consideration you should have when there's a huge run up to the earnings. That's always a possibility. So I have to be very careful out here. I would like to hear from you guys what you think. SMCI is up 2.16% in pre-market trades. This is a diagonal line of support which continues to give support to the stock. For today, I would say first line of support is 50.40. Second line of support is going to be 49.62. We had a target of 58.80, which we have already met. Sorry, this is not the target. This is our flagpole, and we have gone below 50% of the flagpole. So we are in some kind of a bearish situation out here. The only surprise has been that we came all the way up here, and this particular bear flag was neutralized because we crossed above 50% of the bear flag. So in my opinion, I would consider that there's a whole lot of consolidation happening without a basis, whether bearish or bullish. So we'll see a few more candles out here and then make a decision. If we consider this to be the flagpole for a bull flag, we need a breakout on the upside out here. If we see a clear-cut breakout, and if we go above this diagonal line, then I would say that I would get interested in SMCI. Broadcom is up 0.92% in pre-market trades. I think it's forming some kind of a consolidation out here. We still have a target which takes us to 439.16. So I'll wait and watch what happens. And this target, as you guys know, comes from the bullish pennant which was formed earlier. And in order to meet this target, we could either go straight up or we could form a series of bull flags and bullish pennants and reach that point. So what is it going to be? Is this going to be a bullish pennant or a bull flag? That's what we want to see. Palantir is up 2.58%, and I still hold on to Palantir. I believe that it's got a lot of government revenue. Whatever happens to the economy, government revenue will continue, especially because of geopolitical standing that is emerging. It was totally unnecessary for President Trump to ask the Pentagon to restart nuclear tests. That shows a new arms race, and it was initiated by Russia by doing a missile test. So I'm thinking that the world is getting more and more immature, and we have got much more potent technology than we had at the end of World War II. So this bodes well for gold, and at the same time, I think this is going to be good for defense companies. And Palantir is doing a lot of work in field intelligence and all that. So I think Palantir, I'm quite bullish on it. One of the things that Palantir is trying to break through and has not been able to in the last 2 days, which is a little bit concerning for me, not too much, a little bit, is it's unable to break above 199.81. Today it's at 199.54. If it manages to break above 199.81, then I would, and stay above that, I would definitely be very bullish, and I would say that our target of 214.43 definitely comes into sight. And SMH is up 1.23%. SMH is trying to recapture the peak that it had before. It's definitely opening above yesterday's opening, so I'm very happy about that. That's a very positive sign. We are going to get support at around 363.14, failing which we'll get a support at this dynamic line of support at 358.35. And in terms of resistance, I think our first resistance is likely to be at 369.52, and the second resistance is likely to be 372.72. That's for SMH. Tempus AI is up 2.20%. It has still got to break through 90.30 in order to be making any bullish statement as such. Right now, I would say that it's just on consolidation. It was on a bull flag, but then it broke down below 50% of the bull flag. So I'm putting it on a watch. It's neutral in my opinion. I want to see more candles come up. The negative aspect of it is the resistance that we have out here at 90.30, the negative market sentiment, the bearish MACD, and the below average momentum. All of these are negative factors. The positive factor is the diagonal line of support, which is going to give it a lot of support, and also the flagpole that we have out here, which got breached, and we came below the 50%. The other negative factor that we have for Tempus AI is the topping tail that we have out here. So on balance, I say negative and positive is all evening it out, and I want to see some new trend develop out here, which is distinctly positive or negative, so that we can make a call. I don't have any of those. Celsius, I'm very curious what's happening with Celsius. It has broken down below this line of support out here. So I'm going to say that I'm retiring this cup and handle. I think it's gone. We have to look at the potential of this cup and handle pattern and the target of 104.51 that comes from the long term, from a very long term cup and handle pattern, which started, I think, somewhere around 17th of what is that? June 2024. From 17th June 2024. So it can afford to have a couple of these things and then move up. It's a very long-term candle. So still bullish on Celsius holding, but in the short term, there could be volatility. That's what I'm thinking would happen out here. Next, I want to go and have a look at Genomics. Prime is up 0.92% in pre-market trades, and Prime definitely has resistance at 4.54. Let me mark this red. Oh, where it is? Oh, here it is. Let's see. Prime has resistance at 4.54, and that will continue for today. And that resistance is going to get married to this diagonal line of support at 4.59. So I think 4.54 to 4.59 is the range in which we'll have resistance for Prime. If it breaks above that, then I think it has to confirm above it, so we'll have to watch the next candle. So Prime is not out of the woods yet, and it has fallen below what could be a bullish context. So to me, Prime looks bearish. Market sentiment is also bearish, MACD wildly bearish, and momentum is also below average. We have earnings coming out today. I don't know if the earnings has already come out or it's going to come out after hours. That is one thing I always complain about genomics companies. They are not very clear about when they are going to report. It's very important for a retail investor. They better start doing that. They better start announcing in advance and sticking to it, either before market or after market. Fix a date. they should do that. Intelia is up 2.08% in pre-market trades, and I'm thinking that this was a bull flag which had a target of around 29.84, and we have a whole lot of consolidation out here, but let us see what happens when the market opens and we get a few more candles. I'm not very sure what is happening out here because my target has been 29.91. Clearly, we are not going in that direction. We are broken down already more than halfway. So I want to see a few more candles. Then we have this huge gap down that has taken place out here. And we are in a bearish context at this point of time. So market sentiment, as you can see, has gone to the rock bottom. MACD is bearish and momentum has dropped significantly. So what could happen next? I think we are due for a dead cat bounce, and probably this 2.08% gain that we are seeing here is a dead cat bounce that is happening. And when you have a huge drop like this, if the stock was a healthy stock like Meta or something like that, you have a dead cat bounce and an attempt to do a gap fill. With Intelia, I'm not pretty sure that we are going to attempt a gap fill. So if I was holding Intelia, I would take the opportunity of this gap up and probably buy some protection or take some profit, partial profits or something like that to protect myself, assuming that I had bought it somewhere below that price because the price had a big run up. But a Genomic stockholder at this point of time is a very sad creature indeed, because things are not looking overall very good. Caribou is also not doing very well. There are no trades pre-market for Caribou Biosciences, and there was a huge topping tail that superseded the previous topping tail. We have a huge cup and handle target, which is supposed to take us all the way up to 3.82, but things are not working that way as yet, and I don't know where this is going. I hold 500 units of Caribou Biosciences. I had bought it because of the double bottom and then a subsequent bull flag, but I was totally wrong. I'm down around 11% on Caribou Biosciences. I'm not selling, I'm holding on because of the long-term cup and handle pattern. I'm not throwing in the towel yet. I'll keep you informed what I do. Beam Therapeutics is up 1.39% in pre-market trade, but this is a bearish context that we are looking at. Any consolidation that comes here is going to be part of a bear flag, so I'm not very enthusiastic about Beam. Market sentiment is also bearish, MACD is also bearish, momentum is also below average. Unless they come up with some kind of data release which is positive, we are in for trouble. Altimmune continues to go up. I have Altimmune. I took profit on 50% of the Altimmune. The other 50 that I kept is in a loss because we had a huge gap down, and I'm holding on to it because we are steadily traveling this diagonal line of support. It's a very sustainable bull channel, and today we are up 2.09%. So I'm thinking that I'll continue holding it and get back into profitability. So that's all I can say. This is mildly bullish and moving steadily. This is a very good momentum. Editas is up 0.33% in pre-market trades, but it has got twin resistance. First resistance at 3.16 and the second resistance is going to be at 3.21. That is the resistance for today. And we are in a very bearish context as far as Editas is concerned. MACD is bearish, momentum is also below average, and market sentiment is very bearish. So I don't think this positivity can hold on. Illumina is up 7.03%. I would continue to maintain my theme that in the genomics sector, anything that does not depend on FDA certification and has got some kind of monetized product is going to do well. And the suspects in that case turn out to be Illumina, CRISPR because they have Casgevy, and PACB as well as Ginkgo Bioworks. These are the companies I think, and Grail, which are the ones which would probably have the chance to be positive. If you look at CRISPR Therapeutics, it's bounced off the support that we have, which was yesterday at 61.11, but for today it's going to be at 61.34 because it's a dynamic line of support. That's going to be the support for today. We are right now at 61.73. If you look at Allogene, it is up 0.83% in pre-market trade. It's just consolidating. It's a bear flag. has got to break down on the downside. If you look at Grail is up 0.93%. We have a huge topping tail, which we have not been able to extinguish, but we are still attempting to extinguish with all this consolidation that is taking place. So I'm still hopeful for Grail. Topping tail doesn't mean that we are going to have a total trend change and we're going to drop. We still have an opportunity to extinguish the topping tail by closing above 102.83. I think we are making attempts to do that. I would draw a line of resistance out here. I would say that if we are able to close above, please bear with me for a minute. If we are able to close above 91.98 today, I think we are going to be in a good position to attempt to take out this topping tail of 102.83. So this is the biggest negative for the chart. The positives are positive market sentiment and high momentum with plenty of room on the RSI. The other negative is the MACD, which was bearish, but it is mending. It's going towards the signal line to cross over to the bullish side. So I'm going to keep Grail on watch. PSEB is up 5.67%. As I said, that we have a target of 2.18. Let us watch this pattern that is developing out here. It could be a good deal of consolidation and then the move to meet this target of 2.19. Market sentiment is bullish, MACD is bullish, but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is dropping a little bit. We have earnings on 5th of November. Could be a little bit of earnings jitter after so much of gains. Maybe it could be buy the rumor, sell the news. So we'll see what happens. If we are lost sufficient before the earnings come in, and if there are some positive catalysts in the earnings, we could still have opportunity to go up further. And that's all that is for PSEB. ARCG is up 1.21%. I'm not still seeing anything major positive out here. The formation that we have out here still looks quite neutral to me, because we are still on a bull channel. We have plenty of supports. Our first support is going to be out here at 29.13. Market sentiment is negative. MACD is highly negative. Momentum is below average. So these are all the negative aspects that we have out here. Next, let us look at Vertex, which is down 0.93%. It is still above our support of 414.03, and this support has functioned for quite a while now. The latest from 17th of October onwards. So it's a pretty good support. And if you look at this section out here, if we start from here and take this section, we have a kind of bull flag formation, and the 50% of the bull flag is somewhere out where we are here today. Fortunately, we have not dropped down. So if we continue to be above this, I would say that we look at a potential breakout from here, and if a breakout happens, then I would put the target somewhere around 441.10, which would kind of be closer to 441.61. So that's what I'm looking at, but I'm just going to remove this right now and wait for a few more candles to come in. Ginkgo Bioworks is up 3.08%. It's looking very bearish because we have a huge topping tail which topped the previous topping tail. So this topping tail was superseded by this topping tail. So it's in a very bearish context. Market sentiment is bearish, momentum is bearish, and I think the momentum is below average, and it's not looking that great right now, my friends. So I'm going to wait and watch a few more candles and see what happens. Right now, whatever is happening here is totally bearish. I would look at Precision. I want to buy some Precision if it falls below $4. And I had made profits earlier from Precision, but I don't have any in my position right now. Support is going to be at 3.64, and right now we are at 4.04. The initial support, I think, is going to be at 3.91. I would like to buy at least 100 at 3.91, and then dollar cost average on the way down here. And then let's look at Eli Lilly. It's down 0.77% after gaining yesterday. It's in this regression channel, and the upside of this regression channel is at 359.87. That's the resistance for today. And our support for today is going to be at 798.57. Then I'm looking at Ultragenics. Again, a very good company. I have shares of Ultragenics. It was up 1.68% yesterday. Pre-market, it doesn't have any trades. The ask is at 35.69, which is above yesterday's close. and the bid is at 34.37, which is below yesterday's close. So there is that tug of war happening in the pre-market session. When the market opens, we'll have some idea. We already met and exceeded our target of 35.04, which was the cup and handle target. Our next target is going to be 36.17, which is the bull flag target, bullish pennant target. This was the flagpole, and this was the pennant, and this is the target out here of 36.06. I'm looking forward to that. We have earnings coming up on 4th of November. Maybe we hear something positive about the FDA decision on their manufacturing facility. I think they are the ones who got the complete response. So a complete response, if responded to and all those defects fixed, could give them an approval. That's my understanding. So that's the reason why I'm holding RAR. And we have RKT, which is up 7.28%. I'm in a loss position. This was one of the subscriber prescribed stocks, and I thought I should get into it because there was a bull flag. After that, we had problems, and we ended up with a reverse head and shoulder pattern target of around 16.30. We met the target, we exceeded the target, and now we are bouncing back up again. So today I want to make sure that we continue to close above at least 16.22 and start building a foundation out here so that we can start seeing new patterns. Market sentiment is still bearish, MACD is neutral, momentum is below average. So the verdict is still out on RKT, but here we are. And I think Indrajit was asking my positions. I have a small position of Pfizer on my Canadian side. I have a small position of Eli Lilly on my Canadian side. Apart from Ultragenics, those are my Genomics holdings. Now let's go on and have a look at currencies. In currencies, I'm looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up 1.27%. I would still not say that Bitcoin is bullish or anything. To me, this topping tail is still in action, and Bitcoin is still going down. There are a series of topping tails out there. If we go to the weekly context to see if we can have any kind of idea of what is happening. So this is what it looks like from a weekly perspective. So in a weekly perspective, I'm still not getting any patterns that I know personally that can help me to decide if it is bullish or bearish. So I'm going to wait for more candles to appear and the patterns reveal themselves. Right now, what is in front of me is a bit troubling. If I also look at this as a shoulder and this as a head, then there are two right shoulder candidates. This could be one candidate, or this whole thing could be the second candidate. So that's my worst fears. I really don't know. So I'm going to leave this as it is. Ethereum is up 1.02%. The support at 3667.33 continues to work. And then we have XRP USD. XRP USD is again up today, 3.05%. And if I look at this pattern out here, I said we have a reverse head and shoulder and we should target 3.04. But that is not happening. We have started coming down. So I'm going to dismiss this target from here. I'm going to remove the neckline from here. And I would say that we are looking at probably a bear channel getting formed out here. And do we have anything else that's indicating anything? No, that's about it. So that's all I have. I don't know where XRP is going. So I'm totally blank on cryptocurrency. So that's it, my friends. That's all for today. If you want any ticker symbol of yours that you want me to analyze, please let me know that, or else I would be winding down today. So, okay guys, thank you very much and hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. See you later. Bye for now.